Alright, I'm gonna mess with the 240. Yeah. What is up? Matt Pratt here with Hustleworks. Kind of a different video today. We're kind of jammed up on the Porsche. Waiting on material to come in. Some special polyester primer that I need for it. It's just taking a little bit long to come in. Ordered off Amazon. Thought it would be quick and it wasn't. But anyways, I got a drift event coming up and there's like a few things I need to do to my car. And I come out in the garage one day and I just realized that I got like this trail of oil, you know, and I reach under here and I got all this like oil from the intercooler side of my piping. So that's not good, especially if you're gonna run the shit out of your car in a couple weeks. So today we're gonna take this apart and check it out. I got a good feeling that I probably blew the seals out on the turbo, which would suck. So let's start this thing up. Oh man. Battery sounds so dead. Got lucky. Come on, come on. Alright, just gonna let that warm up just a hair. Don't really want to work on a car that's too hot. Alright, well, I got to do a couple things. That's probably gonna be crooked. First things first, I gotta get this Porsche out. And I gotta clean the shop up. If you've watched my last couple videos, I've been doing a lot of body work. And as you can see, and it's just crazy dusty in here, and I need to sweep the hell out of this place, pull this thing out. I need to put it over there. It's gonna go in the booth next, and then pull my 240 in. This material that I'm waiting on actually should be here next week for sure, and so hopefully I'll be putting that video up this week too, of this thing in final prime. Now, I went over the bodywork a little bit. There are some spots I need to touch up a little bit, and I was talking with another painter friend of mine, and we were looking over this roof. Paint is breaking down on it, and it's just best. I think it's just best to strip it. It just sucks because I got a sunroof here too that has the same exact paint, and I got to figure out how that comes out. So, anyways, back to the 240. Let's get this pulled out. Let's clean the hell out of this shop and start taking apart this car. So I just wasted a couple minutes of time with you guys watching me clean my shop. Is that crazy? Anyways. God. I make a lot of noises getting out of my cars. People tell me that all the time. So if you already think that, I know that. Over here taking the side skirt off, and I noticed that is oil. Like, I have oil flying back here, so I guarantee you the inside of this fender is coated with oil. So this is starting to feel, I'm starting to think this is worse than I thought. I was hoping that we'll take everything apart up front here, and you know, it might not be that bad, maybe like a loose oil line or something like that, but I don't know, cross your fingers, this might not be good. And yeah, don't set your car parts on your roof unless you know how to buff. And if you don't know how to buff, comment in the section, I'll do a tutorial about it. Dude, I love this lift because it's just so wide. I mean, I got so much room to open the doors. It's an old school lift, but it does the job. And it is an asymmetrical, it's just a regular symmetrical lift. So I can put cars on it backwards or forwards, which is really cool. So another thing too is the little posts. Here, I'll point them out to you. These things, right now they touch the ground, but I can cut this down and make it even lower. So it's better for lower cars, because this car is pretty low, but the actual rockers aren't. My Honda is actually really, really low. It's the one that I gotta like jack up to get up in the air. I have to jack it up to get it on a lift. So, all right, we got this thing semi in the air. Let's start busting this thing apart. I got to take the front bumper and everything off so I can get to the intercooler and we can chase down this oil leak. So I just popped the hood and I can see a little bit of stuff coming out my, let me let that focus. A little bit of stuff coming out my overflow for the radio. That ain't a big deal, that's usually normal. It's the reason for these little spots here, but right here isn't normal. That's a lot of oil been blowing by. Everything seems to be pretty shiny down there, and it shouldn't be. Doesn't look like anything coming off of the motor over on this side. Nothing coming off the motor over on this side. As you can see how dusty it looks in there. Yeah, I keep my car super clean, but as how dusty it looks, and that's about what it's supposed to look like. And this side does not look like that. Fingers crossed. we could definitely see some discoloration in the intercooler. Just like looks like everything on this side is wet. You can see I got drips of oil there, and just from sitting there taking my side skirts off, some sort of oil there. That's not a lot of time to be sitting there and just leaking oil. I hope it's something else. Well, this looks, I don't know, good or bad. Looks like my oil cooler right there. It's got a little bit of fluid right there. If it's my oil cooler, I would be so stoked. And then scratching my head on how to fix that. Possibly replace the lines. Just to make sure it isn't my turbo though, we got to pull this intercooler piping off. And I'm kind of nervous. Let's see what happens. And guess what? Cool. All this. Pull this clip off. All this nasty oil. But the inside is clean. Super clean. So pretty stoked. What it actually looks like is it's got to be that oil cooler back there. So that is awesome. That is a big relief. Pretty stoked about that. I already like picked out the other turbo that I wanted and everything like that, and this is a Precision 58mm. It's not a really big turbo, but I wanted it to be super snappy. And you know, there's a risk to run there because sometimes your 2J motors actually can be too powerful, spin the turbo too fast. That is possible, and then you blow out all the oil seals, so you end up just burning up turbos left and right. So, but that is awesome news. You don't even know how I feel right now, how much money I get to save and work that I don't have to do. But now I just gotta figure out what to do about this oil cooler. I'm pretty positive it's the oil cooler lines. So let's finish taking the intercooler off so we can get that oil cooler. I'm in the middle of taking the headlights off, and get some light on here and focus. How about that? And I've always had this cracked headlight, and to get this whole headlight you got to replace this whole thing. And I tried gluing it, and you know, being a body tech, like, I know how to glue plastics together. I know how to repair bumpers with glue. But the cool part is I just took this plastic welding course through my work, and they actually teach you, you know, how to repair plastic tabs just like that on headlights. So it's going to be really cool. I might do like a tutorial about it in the next coming couple videos when I get caught up with all of my other work, of course. So, but yeah, it might be pretty interesting if you guys would ever want to learn how to repair headlight tabs and save an entire headlight. You know, leave a comment down below, and just let me know what you guys want to see and stuff like that, because I'll make a video about it. I definitely know the ins and outs and cheap ways, cheesy ways, or whatever to fix something and still be able to enjoy your car without, you know, digging a hole in your pocket, you know. So, all right, back to this thing. So it looks like I had these lines zip tied right here to keep them together, and if you look right there, that looks like it actually pulled this line out. So having a faulty line right at the fitting is very common and happens all the time. It's not a big deal. You do so many lines of these every time you build, you know, a motor, and you're gonna have one that screws up on you. So it looks like, oh, there we go. Yeah, that shouldn't come out that easy, and I'm making a mess in my paint shop. So let's get a bucket or something under that, and it looks like I'm gonna take that line off and get the fitting redone on there. Alright, I got the line out. Here it is. As you can see, they just kind of crimp it on there, and it just didn't hold. You know, like I said, I mean, you do 100 of these lines a month, man, one of them's gonna fail. Happens all the time. So I don't have anything to hold oil because I've never really used this place to change oil or anything like that. So I realized I'm going to need that, so I just kind of randomly stuck that paint can under there, and it minimized the mess. That's about all I can do. As for this thing, it's going to have to sit here until I get this oil line redone. I think I have time tomorrow to go to Freed Engineering. That's where I get a lot of my motor work done, and I can get this oil line changed out, put this on, and then take this off the lift tomorrow when I get home. Cross my fingers. My plans never work out. Alright, let's get this mess cleaned up so we can get out of here. So one thing I'd like to do whenever I have a chance to have my car up in the air is actually inspect the hell out of it. I like to pay attention to how many times I hit my transmission. That's pretty important, and it actually doesn't look bad. A couple marks back here. Everything seems pretty solid where the mounting and everything's going. My lines look good. Drive shaft looks good. Exhaust is still tight. Tie rods look good. I need to get lower control arms for this. They'll be coming before I do that drift effect. And then we come back here. Everything looks good under here. It doesn't look like this is leaking at all. No rips in my boots. It doesn't look like I have axle grease anywhere. No weird rubbing issues. Anyways, everything looks pretty good. Solid up here. Let's check. Oh, that looks good. Not missing any bolts on my axles. That's good. I like the check up here. A little bit of rubbing here, and it looks like I'm actually starting to crack. That sucks. I might have to adjust the camber with these bigger wheels. Let's check the rubbing on this part. Turn this fan off. Oh, that looks really good. No major rubbing on that. Yeah, everything looks pretty solid. Nothing crazy on my fuel lines. It looks pretty normal. As for under here, not too hateful. Rubbing a little bit as expected. I actually want to try to put on a smaller wheel spacer on the front. Still got a little bit of room here to go. I should probably double check my suspension too while I'm here, because they are way off. Did notice this. Looks like the tire caught this before and pulled it that way. So I guess I need to get under here and smash that even flatter, because that is not good. That could cut a tire open. Which doesn't look like I have any marks. It doesn't even look that fresh, but that isn't good. So, and those are the type of things that you want to try to look for, you know, whenever you put your car in the air, you know, because that, since I caught that early and it hasn't punctured a tire yet, it's good because I can smash that flat and avoid a situation. And it looks like this one could be flattened out a little bit too. You don't even notice that when I'm looking at these frame rails, that part is actually lower than the frame rail, so I'm losing a lot of room here. So yeah, so that definitely should be smashed flat. That's pretty bad. I'm surprised there isn't any marks on the tire. So check your wheel bearings. Oh no, it's just loose on the suspension there. It's weird. Doesn't look like a wheel bearing. Looks like my collar needs to be tighter on the strut, on the coilover. Yeah, wheel bearing's good, but I still need to tighten up that collar. That isn't good. Let's see what this side does. This side's snug. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that needs to be tight. Like super tight. Look, that's hand tight. It made it more solid. That's crazy. So I have to take a screwdriver and tap that a little more to get it tighter so it doesn't have all that play. Isn't that crazy? That's how much oil was splashing out of this line, soaking all this stuff, all these lines. Well, I'm gonna have to clean all this off. And soaking all this under here. I mean, this ain't bad because it, you know, corrosion protection. Look, I got oil up here. This is wild. Yeah, that is a mess. So. Can we get lucky? And this thing it started up earlier. Maybe if I film it, that's what makes it shy and not want to start. Oh, come on. No. Okay, interesting. So hard to start, but doesn't want to turn off. Just a quick little video on messing with this 240. Good thing that we lucked out and it's just an oil cooler. I'm gonna throw this in my car just so I don't forget it in the morning, and hopefully I can take care of that after work. And I can come home, put this thing on, and get this thing off the lift tomorrow. So we definitely lucked out in that situation. I did not want to have to buy another turbo. Well, you know the deal. If you like me, you like what you see, do me a favor, subscribe, like, and share this video, and I will see you next week. See ya.